All right, hey, we are back at Morning Coffee.
We're back at Morning Coffee, and I'm trying to jump into the back of a truck in Metal Gear Solid 5
Eli's
Ground
gonna do
Zeroes.
He's going to do it. Let's see if our tweet happened.
Where you at, truck?
Where you at, tweet?
So it throws on the brakes right there, right? Like right
Yeah.
here? Okay.
Like right at the corner there. I think you can get on.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you spot it, it tells you. It's like, oh, I think you can get on that truck. It's
Yeah.
just being quick enough to do it.
Okay, so we got a tweet, so maybe we'll get some folks to come join us.
Well, you know, not or what it's your
at
life,
Morning
bro. Do your thing.
Coffeeing. If you're here and you're hanging out with us, welcome. We are watching Eli successfully jump into the back of a truck like a boss.
So I've never done it this way before. I have no idea what happens next.
Right.
Literally zero ideas.
That's good. Well, he's just taking a trip here. Can you like climb through the window and like attack the truck driver? Probably not, but I hope this guy just takes you right to the
You
end.
just get what? You just get out of bounds? Oh,
he just
that
takes
is,
you out of the whole complex. you want to take that truck for a little while.
Why did you abandon the mission, boss?
I got in a truck, man. It's not my fault.
Okay, I want to try that again and jump out earlier. I
Okay,
guess.
that sounds good.
I don't know. I mean, because
All right.
I don't know where it goes.
True. Well, so this morning we are here, and we are here to chat about what GameWisp is going to do this week, I think.
Or this in life.
Or this today.
Ever.
This today. We are on Thursday, which is a weird way to say that.
It is. We are on Thursday.
But
We have succeeded at Wednesday.
Wednesday happened. How was your Wednesday?
It was fine, man. I don't know. It's a blur of work and terribleness.
That's right. Did you mow your yard?
I didn't.
You did not.
For reasons, the following reasons.
All right.
First reason,
Okay.
traffic was terrible,
Oh,
so I got home kind of late. Second reason,
have we not expensed you a helicopter yet?
Yeah.
At your home?
No.
That's weird.
Second reason,
Mhm.
there was no. Okay, all right, let's do this. There was no gas in
Oh.
the mower, which I knew, but I thought I had some gas in a gas can, and
Yeah.
my gas can was empty.
Oh God. Yes. Oh, nice mount. Truck mount. Let's see.
All
Where are
right.
you gonna jump out?
I think right over here by these shadows.
Okay.
Oh, there's a dude. Crap.
You got it. You got this. There's some grass.
Some foliage.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. Well, I'm sorry that you're lawn
Yeah.
mowing.
Well, yeah, and so anyway, so I got gas, et cetera, et cetera. I got home and
Mhm.
ended up getting into a conversation about my neighbor, he's a contractor.
Yeah,
And so I talked to him about some contractory things.
that's cool.
And by the time I was done, it was like 6:45.
Sure.
So instead, dude, bro, I don't really want to shoot you. I guess I'm gonna have to. So I instead went and did some work on my wife's computer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she needed some stuff done. So
Very
okay,
thoughtful
here's the deal with
of
the sleep dart.
Yep.
Like it takes some time to work,
you. Mhm.
and I think unless you get a headshot.
Right. Nice. Oh, trank. I like that.
Are there any bad guys? I'm just crawling. Don't mind
Yeah.
me.
You know what's funny about?
Just
Oh,
crawling.
look at that. The wind up his skirt there. That's too bad. What's funny about some of the, like the first mission in a lot of these like spy games is like, ooh, Solid Snake is like 40 right now, and you're just like, you know what you should do is move the bodies out of sight so your enemies can't find them. It's like, thanks, man. This is my first mission of all time.
So there's a couple things you can do here. Like I can let him sleep. I
Mhm.
think I can wake him up. I think I can kick him.
Can you slap him?
You can. I can't. So yeah, okay. So see, then he wakes up
Can you?
and he's like, "What's going on?" Grabbed.
Yeah.
And I do this because you can interrogate him, which
Yeah.
you should do. Yeah. So you can speak. Come on, we know where that is. And you
Right.
can. I think you can actually call guys over to him as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if you want him to
Oh,
call
that's cool.
enemies or whatever. But I'm just gonna murder him. Sorry, bro.
It's war. It's not
Yeah.
murder.
It's a hard knock life. I think he's technically a U.S. Marine.
Is he really? Oh, are we in like Guantanamo? or
Yeah,
something?
this is basically like a Guantanamo-esque kind of thing.
Uh-oh.
It's a prison camp or whatever. So
Yeah.
I've never entered from this way. So we've got the refugee camp over here.
Uh-huh. He's left the area by dying.
Yeah. So we've got a spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to negotiate this. You feel free to chat about what's going on at GameWisp.
Okay, perfect. Will
Because
do.
I don't care because I'm Solid Snake.
Yeah.
No, technically Big Boss. Oh, a faux pod. Can I
Yeah.
jump over this guy? Yup. So,
Great. So, what are we doing?
What's going
What are we
on?
doing? I was just trying to see if we had anyone in our stream. I think we've got one or two.
what's up, people? Tell me,
Anyway,
what should I do next? Should I
that's
kill
right.
this rat?
yes. Can you kill it? Stomp on it. Chase it. It runs away from you. That's not. It's very smart of it. So yeah. What are we doing? We are game wisping, and so we've got a few things on the docket today.
I did this like the worst way ever. Because
Yeah?
like I need to get there. I should have just skirted. Like the easy way to do it is before I grab that truck.
Uh huh.
Is really just to go up this road and,
Yeah.
and up that way because
Right.
you hit a checkpoint about here at this guard tower.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm like way over here,
The opposite side.
just jerking around.
That's right. So yeah, today I think we're going to be doing a few things. One, on the dev side of things, we've got some good things cooking. We've got several features that are sort of like things that people have requested that we're working on. I'm not sure if we've really announced those things publicly, but we are building on our fan funding platform based on the success that some people have had and some of the sort of like standard things that you see on other fan funding platforms to make things better for our content creators and the fans themselves. So we'll be supporting other types of benefits with the tools that we have. Essentially, it goes back to our whole thing about wanting to automate the delivery and logistics side of doing fan funding for Twitch streamers and YouTubers. So we've got a lot of tools that we're working on as far as that goes. We're also working on a redesign of the site.
It is. We're tired of Navy.
Right. And we're going to use that as sort of an accent color. Dude, you move that barrel. Someone's going to notice.
Just like bumping. I'm doing
Yeah.
a really terrible job right now.
Yeah. What a spy you are. His
'Cause I
hands
just-
in the ground. Dear God.
What?
The clipping.
Oh God, it's in the mud, man.
Oh, okay.
See, it's mud.
It's just like it's like 1 foot of like poop mud there.
Yeah,
You're sticking-
I'm really out of my element right now because I don't know where I am. Like
Yeah.
I've never gone this way,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, what should I do?
Right.
Because there's a lot of lights over there.
Yeah. You don't want to go in the lights if you're a spy person.
And if I know anything about Metal Gear Solid, it's lights are bad.
Right.
Can I climb this? I bet I can.
I bet you can. That one is. There's a light right
Are
there.
you serious?
Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe right here you're good. I don't know.
There are like no bad guys in here. It's just like
It's bad guy free world. That is a light if I've ever seen one. Can you shoot out the lights?
yeah, you can, but they know.
Yeah.
It's not like old. Was it Perfect Dark? What game could you run and like shoot every light? And no one ever noticed.
Yeah. Why are all the lights out? Why are they shattered
Why
everywhere?
do I keep hearing gunshots?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh well. Back to.
And so now I'm essentially back where I started.
That's good. Well, you successfully jumped on the truck. I think that's.
I
we're
did.
all better for that.
I was curious to know what happened when you did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go up the path because it's just way less dumb.
Yeah. It's cool. Nice sprint.
In the grass.
So yeah, I think we're making a lot of progress with everything. I guess we'll have some of those features into testing by when, like the end of next week.
So the dev team is currently on a two 2-week sprints. The
Mhm.
first is to get us to new stuff on the site, and then the second is to kind of finish it out. And so we're looking at a deployment time for all of our feet. Well, okay, the big goal. Let me step back a minute.
Sure.
The big goal is basically feature complete by. I missed the dive. There's a dive you can do. I don't hit the wrong button.
Oh,
But
nice.
it's feature complete by the end of May.
Right.
And by feature complete, we mean open to the general public, which I know we initially said that was going to be March, but hey, we're liars. That's life. And so it's going to be the end of May to when anybody can just come and sign up, and if they want to do fan funding, they can just do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're gunning for. And so maybe we'll make it.
I think we will. I have faith.
I mean, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
We've got a pretty clear direction. So, from a product standpoint, a lot of the past, 4 months, it's
Yeah.
just been a process of like finding out what works and what doesn't,
Sure.
and then working our way backwards from that.
Right.
So, I think the startup process. Call it a process,
Right.
which implies that we know what we're doing and we don't.
It is.
But the startup
It is a process.
The startup it's a process. We don't know what it is.
Right.
The startup process is very experimental. If you let it be,
Mhm.
it's very scientific, right? It's very
Yeah.
very much measure and understand. And as you know, I am a scientist.
Yes, you are.
And
By
so,
trade.
By trade.
Science.
By trade and training. And so, if you look at it that way, we're very much experimenting and have been for months now.
Yeah.
Months. And we make a hypothesis about what we think will be valuable with a feature. And then we may totally miss the mark. And so,
Sure.
I mean, from a product standpoint, with some stuff we did totally miss the mark.
Yeah.
With other stuff we haven't. And so, it's mainly a process of going back and saying, okay, what do we get right? What do we need to get more right?
Yeah.
What did we totally get wrong?
Sure.
And so,
Would you say that you think we're getting better at looking like, or like we're getting better at the experiment and iterate?
we're getting better at a lot of things
Yeah.
every day. So one, the parts of the product that we got right, they get better.
Yeah.
They get more stable. I just really want to kill this guy. They get more stable. They get much easier to kind of understand how they work. And then aside from that, see if I can get him.
I think you can.
What's up, bro?
Hey, man.
Where are the other half of the drugs?
Speak.
And so, we get better at doing that, but more importantly, we get a lot better at learning how to get better.
Yeah.
So we get a lot better at measuring, we get a lot better at understanding, and we
Right.
get a lot better at knowing what works and what doesn't, and knowing
Yeah.
that quickly. And that, I think, is the big test for anyone kind of running a startup. Is like, especially when you raise money, like you raise some amount of venture money, like your
Right.
seed money or whatever. And if anybody follows startups at all, it's air quotes easy to get seed money right now.
Yeah.
And so that that ease lends itself, in my mind, to experimentation.
Right. Which is the primary goal for this stage, right? It's a lot of
Yeah.
figuring out exactly what is going on.
I mean, venture capitalists would love you to raise $100,000 in seed money and then just like be an 11 cajillionaire
Yeah.
6 weeks later. But
Sure.
that's not how it is. That's just not how the system works. Like, it takes a lot of trial and error. But what's important and what you bet on, if I was a venture capitalist with a lot of money, what I would want to bet on is how good are these people at doing that.
right.
So like they think there's a market opportunity.
Yeah.
They don't, so they know the
So you're-
problem.
And you're betting on the team
Yeah.
and the market.
So they know the problem, but not the solution. And so how good are they at experimenting their way into the solution?
Right.
And, there are companies that hit what I'll call a solution as in a finished product that a lot of people like to use by total accident. Instagram. Total accident.
The service we're using right now.
Yeah. Total accident.
Yeah.
I would argue that Twitch, while it may have been accidental, sort of experimented their way into it. They just may
that's
not have.
true.
They may not have known it.
Well, I say like accidental, and you're exactly right. Like they are a good picture of somebody who built a service, got a bunch of people to use it, and then looked at their own data and saw, wow,
Yeah, and saw the value.
70% of people that have the biggest audiences are in gaming. We should focus on that because there's an opportunity here.
You cannot see me. You can't. Oh, you were so full of it.
Boo.
All right, I'm just gonna do this. Oh, hang on. Give me a minute. I mean, it's over. So
Nice.
I'm just gonna take up my frustrations on him.
Sounds great. I think you should.
I'm gonna come up there and shoot you in the face. I don't
That's right.
care. You can shoot me. It's fine. I'm still coming.
That's right.
I'm still coming. Is there?
Can you just kill everybody?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Is that a part of playing this game?
But it's not the way to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, Miller told you at the beginning it's an infiltration mission. Too. Watch.
Right. Nice. That's great. So one of the things I'll say off the subject of GameWisp is that we have, or in the, I guess, series of games that we addressed earlier that I like more than this.
Yeah, just talk it out. I
Sam
need
Fisher,
a minute. I need
right?
a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like, it used to be that it was just like pure stealth, right? Like you can only, like if you get caught, you just like end the mission, right? And then one of the things they did recently was change things over to, they gave you like points now for a couple of different ways to run the mission. So like there's like, I can't remember what it was in the last game, like Panther I think is one, and then can't remember. Eagle, I don't know. One's stealth. One's like, you gonna die.
Yeah, I'm gonna die. I thought I'd play it out.
That's good.
Yeah, see what happens.
And so, like, you actually get points for playing it different ways, you know, and so you get, like, particular, like, you get, like, a Panther score, you get a stealth score.
Yeah, this is the same way.
And so
just like,
I like that in that, you know, I usually play, like, a combo, right? It's like I don't really want to just sneak around and not kill anybody, but I also don't want to just, like, want it to be like a Halo game, you know? I mean, that's the point. It's like you're sneaking around and all that. So anyway, I like that that's kind of this way too. There's stuff to blow up and
yeah, I mean, well, and it's for distractions, right? Like I
Right.
could shoot a barrel and cause a distraction and get
Mhm.
past it. Like I think it alerts the people in the region, like oh, something's amiss because this barrel just exploded. But you know, it can give you an escape route or whatever, and like you can hide. It's just, this game. So in earlier Metal Gear Solids, it was a lot clearer. Like there was like a countdown timer and stuff.
Sure.
And so it was really clear how long you were in trouble. And they kind of got rid of that in 5, I think.
Yeah.
Or 4, and so now it's like a lot more nebulous as to how you actually
Get people to stand down or something. Or
yeah,
how long they're gonna be looking for
like
you.
so for example, like this guy's about to stop, right? So
Yeah.
let's see if I can hit it. Throw it, do it. Oh shit, I really want to get it. So see, he stops, right?
Right.
And they're like, what's going on? And so if I wanted to, I could jump in that and
Yeah.
steal it, right?
Right.
And so, but see, like they're all alerted now. Like
Mhm.
everybody's like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of the nature of the game. Anyway, like
Interesting.
what were we talking about? This is morning coffee, not Metal Gear Solid time.
Yeah,
so.
totally. Just talking about, you know, number one, the experimentation process
Yeah.
of being a startup, how that's working for us in a way that helps our product get better, things like that.
Yeah, and so with that experimentation process, it's what will hit my metric, right? And so you pick some metric that you're measuring.
Sure.
And it's like maybe it's what will make me money, what will get me users, what will blah blah blah, and so then you just work toward that, right?
Sure.
And so with us, you know, there's all of it's a process. The first process is defining the metric, you know, finding the metric,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's experimenting your way toward doing it, and so it's building the product that makes the metric happen. And if you look at products like experiments, because that's what they are
Yeah.
in the startup world, then you just make stuff as fast as you can, and see who uses it and how and why, and
Yeah.
then you just get a bunch of feedback. And so
Yeah. And I think part of that is
I kind of want to try this.
Yeah,
again.
get it in the truck. Part of that is knowing when to cut stuff as much as it is about like knowing when to add something, you know? And a curveball.
Oh, I didn't get it. All right.
That's so close.
I guess like I could like jump in and drop it and run away.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna try one more time.
Yeah,
Let's
do
see
it.
else. Okay.
And so I think that's been a big part of our process too, is not just building new things, but also just like ripping out things we spend a lot of time on because they're just not resonating or they're not accomplishing the metric, right?
Yeah.
It's we're not a slave to the metric, but kind of, right? We're
Yeah.
it's something where you just don't want to you don't want to build something to build something. You're testing a metric. If the thing doesn't accomplish testing the metric, then there's no reason for it to exist even.
Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer at times because you have to kill things that people really like.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, we had this streaming infrastructure for a while. We had that watch room thing going on, and there were people that liked it, but it wasn't like, you know, all of our, you know, it wasn't on a whim. We decided to
Right.
shelve that. It was like, you know, data showed that it wasn't the right answer, and so we had to figure out, okay, how are we gonna, you know, what's next, you know?
Right.
And that's what you do. So you just run another experiment.
Yeah. And you try and make things a cheap experiment. That's the trick there. Oh, it's gonna be short.
Is it short? Damn. All right, I'm done. That's enough of that. I'll do something else now.
All right. And that's, you know, I think that's something we're trying to get better at, is like being able to run an experiment more quickly. You know, I think something we did early on was like, oh, we're going to build this huge thing that takes like 4 months and then run an experiment. Now it's like, oh, we're going to build this thing in like a week or two, run an experiment, learn from it, iterate, spend another week or two. And the faster you get to the point where you can test an assumption, I think the faster you can iterate to something that's solving the right problem
and
the right way.
And run more than once.
Right.
More than one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, and that's really important. And so from an engineering perspective, and I don't know if we're going off on too much of a tangent here, if anybody even cares about this, but from an engineering perspective, like when you decide to build things, if you're in a startup, you want to build things that optimize the number and quality of experiment you can run.
Yeah.
And so we have a couple of very, very different products that are happening right now that I won't get into because it's just not the time to do that.
Sure.
But they're very different. But the benefit is they can leverage a lot of the same infrastructure and backbone to happen. And so these are two totally different products that we taught. We did requirements gathering on them. We built some very, very rudimentary prototypes, but we were able to build really robust prototypes really quickly because we leveraged good underlying infrastructure.
Yeah.
And so we knew that, okay, this is a core part of whatever we're going to do, so we're going to build this well, and whatever we put on top of it, we can just throw it together really quick.
Right.
And so that's another really important aspect of doing this kind of thing is, from a development standpoint, you want to pick your battles.
Yeah. And you want to, build, I would say, like you said, from an engineering standpoint, build something that's, and you kind of do this from accident or on accident at the beginning, but, you build stuff that can be leveraged into other products, I guess. Like you build it in a flexible way, building like a core baseline foundation that serves a particular market. I think that's been the value of our platform is like we've been able to iterate on it because we dove deep on the gaming market. I think that's part of it, but also just like we built a lot of things that are applicable to games, to YouTube, to a lot of this ecosystem, and so the problem space we can explore with that underlying infrastructure is pretty wide.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. It's
nice.
Get down. Get down.
Do we have a chat? Hello, JMaster2710. Thanks for jumping in and checking out our stream and hanging out with us.
Yeah, and I mean, well, how long have we been doing this? We probably need to wind up soon, but
we've been streaming for about 22 minutes.
Oh, that's not so bad.
It is 9:33 a.m. CST.
So to finish my thought on that, like, so what it means for users is things change really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And they change really quickly intentionally. We don't have the time or really the energy to do this on a whim. Good night. And so
Sweet Prince.
and so we work on so much data collection.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in doing this, don't think about. And this is the mistake I see a lot of new entrepreneurs make. Just from talking to them and understanding how they work is like, don't think about what you're doing in terms of like, oh, I want to build this product and it'll look like this and it'll function like this and it'll be so cool. It's like, no, you want to run this experiment. I want to run this experiment and I want to see what's going to happen. And when I run this experiment, I have to build this thing to make it happen.
Right.
So it's not about it's the product itself is a byproduct of experimentation. It is not the end goal. And I say do that initially. There comes a point when you don't, but initially that's what you do. And so the product, because if you design it that way, then what you make exists to answer important questions you have.
Sure.
And if you don't do this, it is much, much easier to fail as a business. You still may fail if you do the experiments, but at least then you have data and you have something actionable, and you're not struggling to make a product better. What you're doing is you're learning.
Yeah, and I think we did that very much in the beginning where it's like we're going to build this product. At least that's I feel like that's how I started this thing out. And before we were even like a real company, it was like, I'm going to build this thing, and then I'm going to force it on people.
Oh, absolutely.
And then now it's a lot more the opposite thing where, hey, there's this problem we see a bunch of people having, and it seems like a negative thing that they have it, and we're going to have to, figure out how to solve that with software.
Yeah.
And I think that viewpoint, and then it's like, because I think the other thing that I've learned at least is that the initial problem you try to solve is not exactly correct.
Never.
And so
never.
Part of the experiment is not just like I found the perfect problem, let's find the perfect solution. It's a lot about I found what looks like to be a problem, and now I got to figure out if it's the right problem and if a solution exists for it. And then you sort of like find more nuances to the problem, which open up more problems, and you just sort of find your way through experimenting to a problem to solve.
Yeah,
That's,
and
I think,
there are
that's
so many
key.
factors, right? Like,
Yeah.
you may experiment and find a problem and solve a problem, and it's a small problem. It's not big enough.
Yeah.
And you want to, and that's when it depends. It depends on what you're trying to build. Like, if you're trying to make some open source, because this experimentation philosophy works across the board. But like, if you're trying to make some kind of thing that's like, oh, this is going to be open source, I'm not going to charge for it. I just want to make lives easier. That's great.
Right.
And you've done it. You've done it right. It's, oh, I just want to make a lifestyle business, and I want like a $10,000 MRR and all this stuff. It's like, okay, that's great too.
For our viewers, MRR means monthly recurring
revenue. And it's like,
Yeah.
so, and you did that a certain way, and you built that. But like, you have to think about the scale and size of the problem you're solving, and use that to impact the business and the product.
Right.
And you learn that through experimentation, and market sizing and figuring out what's going on and stuff. Like, the less magical you make this process, the better everything is.
Right. Which is funny because that's sort of the it's kind of the opposite of what the like a consumer, not consumer, like the everyman's view of what like startupping is. It's like, oh, we're like magically, it's like, oh, this brilliant story of people growing a big company, and it was all like this luck after luck after luck. And
public
all this
perception is so incorrect. Like, think about movies. Think about like The Social Network, right?
Yeah.
Look at that movie. And so, Mark Zuckerberg built the thing and whatever, and it's like, oh, was there experimentation or blah? Like it just totally downplayed that process. And so if it happened, it's like it didn't exist. It was like it was a bolt of genius. You know? And it's just like finding. So discovering that stuff is much more Thomas Edison than Mark Zuckerberg. Like it's a bunch of experimentation. It's failing over and over and over.
Yeah.
But it's failing in a calculated way, so you can keep moving forward.
Right.
And
absolutely. Because I think like the most important things I guess like the most important things that happened in Facebook happened in the background of that movie. Like Mark Zuckerberg is talking to Justin Timberlake, and like behind him there's like 10 people writing code, and marketing things and solving problems, and that's where like the actual growth of the company came from, like all of the like background characters. And that's not, there's the human story they're trying to tell.
Sure, it's a movie. It's entertainment.
But that's where all that experimentation was happening.
Yeah.
To answer your question, J Master, well, first, yes, that's exactly right. You never waste any time when experimenting, especially if you're they say like your results, I guess, have to be measurable. Like you can't just like experiment to learn only qualitative things. You have to like have some measurable goals to be iterating towards. So that's a key there. But we so answer your last question here. We don't specifically make games ourselves. We're making services for YouTubers and Twitch streamers, kind of help them engage with their audience
for fan funding.
Yeah, make money. So it's
like the conventional business startup. For sure.
Yeah.
I think making games doesn't, like, the rules don't really apply here. Experimentation is still important, but there's a lot of art that goes into that.
Yeah.
And a lot of creativity.
Yeah, there's a lot of the stories, stuff like that. I think, the iteration on stories there.
And the iteration on mechanics, like you still iterate, but it's a lot more like I have a vision and I want to execute on that vision. And I think, it's complicated. That works for startups too, right? You have an idea of what you want to build, but like, if you're making a game, I think you're setting out with a particular goal in mind. Like, I want to make a platformer because that's what I want to make. And I want it to be like XYZ because I created this. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Whereas with startups, it's more like, I need to learn as much as I can about a space and see if a problem exists there.
Right, because I'm trying to create a new market within a certain segment.
So it's a different mindset, I think. A lot of the day-to-day is the same. You write a lot of code, you build a lot of stuff, you design a lot of things, but the driving force is very different.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm sorry if you play a lot of Metal Gear Solid, I'm really bad at it. So when I played through on my own, like the first, like rescuing Chico, this part here, like I never really figured out a clean way to get rid of these guys.
Yeah.
Like I think I can shoot this one.
And then go drop that guy.
And then shoot this one.
He doesn't seem to be like moving much.
Yeah.
Watch out for the cactus there. You hit the cactus.
Did I?
Or he just moved. What is the hitbox on that cactus? There it is.
I just I hate using my gun
Yeah.
in this game. Yeah. So that's why I don't ever like to use a weapon unless I absolutely have to.
Right.
Anyway,
The only weapon you want to use is your mind.
my
and
mind.
Your muscles.
Yeah.
And this. You just throw them off the cliff, man.
I don't think you can.
Please try. It's one of my favorite things in Splinter Cell.
Yeah,
You can't.
just
It's like there's some of these levels that are in the water in Splinter Cell. I just like pick the guys up and just throw them into the ocean. Presumably they like. I don't know. Presumably they like. Drown, I guess. They may already be dead. I'm not really
Okay,
sure.
so let's finish our thoughts here in morning coffee because I've
Okay.
saved Chico.
Way to go!
Yeah, so that's part one. Next part is pods, which I know nothing
Chico.
about because I've never done it. So I'll have to go back and do that in my own time. So to finish this up, GameWisp, we're measuring things, we're building things, we're killing some features, we're bringing some features to life.
Yeah,
That's what's going to happen.
right on.
And if you're frustrated, you can save these guys if you want, but I don't care. And so if you're if you're a user of GameWisp and you're listening to this on YouTube or something later, understand that if we killed a thing you love, I'm very sorry, but the data made us. So
I'm so consumed by this
So-
cutscene.
so
Keep
there's
it
that.
down. Oh.
So I don't want to ruin this for Mike. He should go play it later.
Okay. But yeah, so we got a lot of stuff cooking, a lot of stuff in the works. You can check out our website right now at GameWisp.com. I think we'll be back streaming every morning at GameWisp or at on our Twitch channel here doing morning coffee. We'll talk a little bit about GameWisp. We'll talk a little bit about the games that we are maybe playing while we're talking. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about the gaming industry. Who knows? But love for you to follow us, check us out on other days. And thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to go get to work, I guess.
Yeah. Time to write some code. See you later,
All
guys.
right. Peace out.